to not be as biased. Let me just make a party with Ethan.
What's up, Brock?
Hello.
Wait, where's the thing? Here it is. Okay.
I was gonna say, if you have some of these guys on PlayStation already, if you can invite them, that'd be great. Cause I think I only had like 16 or so that like added
Yeah,
me back.
no, that's
So
fine. I'm just gonna quickly. Have you invited me yet? No, I haven't got an
no,
invite.
it's been a long day. I have to kick. Wait a minute.
You what? Sorry.
I didn't take Fast out of the invite group, so he was in the lobby.
Alright, that's fine. Yeah, Nathan's the one that's racing instead of Passe, so
Yeah.
chuck yourself in as spectator, by the way, Brock. Still need to get another 6 more in. Who are we missing? We're missing ERT Hanis. Oh no, he's in the mud. Who are we missing?
T1000. He just added me actually.
E1K Zach, okay.
say Hookie's in. Speed red matches joined. So we're at 16. Okay, T1000's in. That was a very ferocious okay. Yeah, I honestly that's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
To be fair.
I mean, I thought we were gonna be, close to like 30 minutes, 40 minutes behind.
Yeah. Who's just pick spectate? Oh my god, who's the fucking idiot? Hannah's. You silly twit. Right, it's just Mallow. Oh, I should have taken his time to do the fucking results. I'll do them very quickly. Rosé. So 36. Campbell. 16. Cortez.
He is in.
30. Sweet, right. Right, I'm just going to chuck it over to us now. Just, ready?
Yep.
And we are back, everyone. And, yeah, no, I have managed to get myself in with comms for the 11th race of the event out of 22. We're literally at the halfway point. We're now starting to get into what people like to call the graveyard shift. And I'm joined by none other than one of the dankest Americans, Mr. Alt Maverick. How you doing, Brock?
I'm doing good. I'm really happy that yeah, I was chosen to commentate over some of these races, and especially seeing that all the Europeans are now going to sleep. Maybe most of them won't have to listen to my American accent that everybody just so loves. But we're getting ready for Belgium. It's a fun track. I love this track. And yeah, we got 20 of the greatest drivers here. Let's see how they tackled one of the greatest tracks in Formula One.
Yeah, I'm quite intrigued. Spa, I suppose, is more of like a legendary track as sorts. It's been in the F1 calendar for quite some time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this race is going to go for tonight. If anyone remembers back to last year, excuse me, in the 24-hour stream, you will know that it was interesting. I suppose is the only word that I can put it. Yeah, I've got to say that was probably a certain highlight. I'm sure the Humble Boys will all remember what happened with that one. But yeah, so I'm quite intrigued how this one's actually going to go for tonight. Hopefully, it'll be some nice smooth run-ins. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Everyone just picking on their setup and getting themselves ready for this one as well. Guys that actually having to start last here for tonight, or for Belgium, is the IFR guys. So Fruitful, I think, is the one that's doing the race for IFR. He's probably just going to validate on the first lap or first corner or whatever, go a bit wide and then be done with that. So yeah, IFR are going to be the ones invalidating, and yeah, I think hopefully we should be able to get something underway right about now. Ryan on board with the Vapor driver of Nuth. Yeah, Brock, take us through it.
All right, so down to the first hairpin, let's source the first corner. Now you take the absolute, just demanding plunge down to El Rouge and Radion, the infamous chicane that might be changed for next year. So this might be the last time these drivers take it as it is. Now down the Camel straight through the little kink. Fruitful has retired from the session, so he will start P20. DRS wide open, and then brake just at the just past the 50-meter bar, but he misses the apex for the late comp chicane. Right, left, then back, right. Use all the curbing you can before the game takes this lap away from you. Down into Malmedy. Keeps a tight apex, runs it out to the curb. Then in the infamous corner, No Name. Gets the back end, just snaps away from him a little bit. He's taking the esports line, this guy. Using all the curbing he can find. Plunges into Puhan, nearly flat out 7th gear. Now another right-left chicane here. Around the Aramco signs, under the Aramco banner. Down into this double right. I believe they now call it campus. And then you're back onto the final straight. Blanchimont, a blind left-hander, meets these drivers before the bus stop chicane to end this lap. Snuth right now in 5th place. It is Neo, Haynes, and Campbell, the top 3. Breaks into the bus stop chicane. It's not a bus stop chicane because it's not a bus stop shape. Out of the final corner, slides the car a little bit. Haynes will be pole position. Neo loses it out of the final corner. He'll finish 3rd. Campbell's in 2nd. And the session's ended before I can even say anything else.
I suppose it tends to do that when it comes to one-shot qualifying. But yeah, what an end to that session. Thought it was going to be Neo on pole. I would have been happy with my Excel brethren being on pole. But no, on pole it is ERT Hannes. With only 0.04 of a second up ahead of QVR Campbell. Campbell being on a little bit of a roll tonight. I think he's definitely making up for what happened last year in the 24-hour event. Definitely making up what happened last year in the 24-hour event. Trying to get a bit more redemption for that one. But yeah, Campbell in 2nd, Neo in 3rd, Alphamut in 4th, Nathan 5th, Snoof in 6th, KJ in 7th, T1K Zach in 8th, WR Falk in 9th, Speed Redmat at the top 10, Maledictus in 11th, Casper 12th, Pachuca in 13th, Scott Bugner in 14th, Aspect 15th, Toxic Tomato in 16th, Waffle 17th, Kryptonite in 18th, Fruitful in 19th, and Hookie in 20th position. Actually not supposed to be starting at the back, it's supposed to be Fruitful, so I'm quite surprised that Fruitful's a little bit further up in the order, so I don't know what had happened with him there, but I suppose that's the way it goes. So yeah, I don't know if he just didn't invalidate on his lap or what happened with that, but yeah, he looks as if he's going to be starting ahead of a couple of guys in this race. But yeah, I mean, a few of the front runners very, very close. I think the top 3 were split by 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, very close up at the top of the field. And I'm gonna try to keep my bias as low as I can with QVR Campbell being a QVR member myself. But you said it when the session ended. He's been on a roll tonight. He's doing this is his third race in a row. He did Spain, he did Mexico, and now he's doing Belgium. I almost went in for Spain just to kind of give him a break, but he said no, I want to do it. And here we are. I think he hasn't been outside the top three in qualifying all these three races. So he's he's found something tonight. I don't know what it is, but I might need it for my two races coming up.
Yeah, no, we certainly do. So, yeah, we're just waiting for these guys just to do the strategies and we can get straight underway. Well, for the formation lap of the 11th round of the event. Anyone that is new to the stream, welcome. Of course, we are doing this all for charity. First charity being for Young Minds Trust, and the other one also being for Special Effect. If you want to donate, do !donate in the chat. Try and raise these goals up. I think altogether so far we've raised £1,114, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, £1,119. Sorry, now that we had that £5 donation as well. So, yeah, I said !donate in the chat, and just donate to one of those links as well. I think if you're in the UK, you can only use PayPal for some reason. If you're elsewhere, for some reason you can't use PayPal. I'm not too sure what that's about. Hopefully Just Giving fix that soon. But yeah, ERT Hannah is going to be the one that's leading us through this formation lap as well, Maverick. And yeah, I think outside the top 10, the only guys that are going on the set are softs are Pachuca, Scott Bugner and Hooky down towards the back end of the field. So this could be a bit of an interesting one.
Yeah, it's we're having the mandatory 2 stops, and I mean this is one of the tracks where it is an easy 1 stop. Stop about lap 7 or 8, as we saw with the beautiful AWS graphics we sometimes get. But I mean the majority of the people outside the top 10 on the mediums, that's going to be a really good call because they do medium, medium, soft. They're going to be flying at the end of this race, and then the guys at about the front, soft, medium, medium maybe. Soft, medium. I mean, I'm kind of loving this mandatory 2 stop. Honestly, I feel like a lot of leagues should really implement it.
Don't worry, we'll start running it in the League of Europe very soon. Then, so yeah, if you want to keep it that way, I'll try and see if I can convince anybody else to do that. But yeah, so we're just waiting for everyone just to come and finish on their formation lap, and we can get the 11th race underway. As I said, 11 out of 22. Once we finish this, we are officially halfway through the event. I said to Maverick just before as well, we're about 15 minutes behind in terms of scheduling, but I think at the moment it might actually be working out to... Well, it might actually be working out properly, because if we was to start the final race at like 11:45, which is planned, then we would still probably have about, I'd want to say about 20 minutes until the end of the stream. So with this 15-minute delay, I wouldn't even necessarily say it's a delay, but I suppose it's something that we just need to try and keep on getting drivers in, just to make sure we're on top of it as much as possible. But and try and keep to the schedule as much as we can. But yeah. They're all just lining up to their grid boxes now, and yeah, have you got any quick predictions for us, Brock?
I think the top 5 will probably stay the same. I mean, they're usually the guys that you would normally see up at the front of their respective divisions in their league. So I think the top 5 they might stay, but they're probably going to jump around in terms of their
Of course. So we have now got to the 3, the 4, and the 5 red lights for round number 11 of the event, and it is lights out, and away they go. ERT Hannah's having a very good start, and there's already Mercedes going into the wall straight off the start. I think that was Speed Redman, but ERT Hannah's managed to keep in the lead of the race. Neo going down the inside of Campbell into P2, and Campbell just having to back out of that one into 3rd. In fact, he's lost the position to KJ as well, down into 4th position. KJ, very good start from, I think he was 4th on the grid, so manages to move himself up a position as well. Canoe up into 5th. Nathan dropping down 1 position into 6th. Falcon not exactly having the best of start, and now it's just a run up, and this is where things are going to get very interesting. Probably one of the longer straights on the calendar. You can see Falcon getting absolutely swamped by Alpha Martin. There's I think there was a half spinning Alpha Tauri that was Maledictus for the Olimpo team, and unfortunately for him, I think he's managed to just keep it out on track, and there's loads of cars still going side by side. Maledictus, Toxic Tomato, Speed Redman, Aspect, Fruitful and Waffles all going side by side of each other, coming up towards No Name Corner, and it's all so close of each other. but manages to get through that nice and cleanly. Pachuca all over the back of Alphamut for that P9 position, and I don't think the Finns can be able to get any sort of move done, as there's Waffles already retiring from the session. Fruitful also into the barrier at the same place, so I wonder if they both had a collision. But yeah, you can see Waffles, his car completely demolished at the start.
Yeah, they were 3 wide. Aspects, Fruitful, Waffles 3 wide into Puhan. That was never gonna work. And Waffles was the one that came off worse on that incident. But yeah, I mean 3 wide into Puhan on lap 1 of a 22 lap race. You gotta just take it easy, guys. You can't have that.
Yeah, it's never going to work out. But yeah, I said good start from a few of the other guys as well. You can see the 2 Aston Martins of Scott and Pachuca both going side by side. Scott just forcing his way through on Pachuca in the bus stop, but Pachuca's not done with that move as of yet. He's got the inside in towards turn 1. Scott's going to leave him the remarked up a little bit, was keeping on the outside. They're both still side by side. Scott getting a better exit. Pachuca might just have to give that one up, coming up towards Elridge and Radion. So yeah, Scott manages to maintain that position up ahead of Pachuca in the end and getting that move done from the exit of the bus stop chicane. You can see Casper's now all over the back of him on these medium tyres. In fact, trying to eye up a move right now on Pachuca using his ERS, trying to get that move done as they make their way up towards the first chicane, and I don't think he's going to be able to get any sort of move done is the Dutchman. So yeah, the Buckarell's boy of Casper, unfortunately having to just drop back from Pachuca at the moment. A little bit further up in front, Scott, he's not only done with just one attack, he's now on the attack on the Ecos driver of Alphamut for that P9 position. And interestingly enough, Fruitful, the one that obviously started in last. In fact, saying that, before I do, Alphamut making a little bit of a mistake coming through no names to Scott Bugner straight down the inside and gets that 9th position on the Ecos driver. But yeah, Fruitful, one that was supposed to start in last, has not had a very good start at all. Down in 19th position, 2 seconds off of the back of Aspect. He needs to try and do more for that team and try and get as many points as he possibly can for it.
Yeah, it's always tough when you start at the back, or in this case, it was P19 with whatever happened in qualifying, and then the incident going into Puhan, he was always going to lose time in that. Now he's just got to try to claw it back, maybe take those mediums farther than anybody else. And I mean, there's no safety car, so you can't catch a lucky safety car in these races, and it's tougher to recover from something like that. So you just got to drive clean, you got to keep your nose clean, and right now, I mean, Alphamut, he was up in P4, I think, and now he's down to P10. I mean, he's made a couple mistakes, so he's looking to recover his own race, and it's not as bad as Fruitful, but I mean, still losing 6 positions at most. I mean, only 3 laps in. At least now with DRS is enabled, he might be able to pass Scott here back for P9.
Here we go though, front. There's a move going on at the front. Neo going down the inside of Hannes for that lead of the race. Hannes having a little bit of a weave in just to trying to break that slipstream from the back of the German, but the German gets his way through in the end anyway. Neo now up into the lead of this race. Campbell maybe trying to follow suit on the ERT driver, but no, just has to back out of that one at the moment. So XL driver Neo leading this race now, and already 9.5 tenths of a second. Hannes must have made some massive mistake, because Neo is now just cruising off in the distance. As you said, it's a 2-stop race, so I wonder how and when people were going to be making their first pit stop, as Campbell, I think, had a little bit of a knock coming through Puon.
Yeah, he touched the back of Haynes and just couldn't, he just lost the car. He almost saved it, and then it just snapped on him. Oh!
Was that KJ going really slowly? I don't know what was happening with him just then, but Campbell's just managed, or gotten swamped by it. Falk's now trying to go down the inside, coming onto the long straight up towards Blanchimont, and I don't know what just happened there. I thought Campbell got that position from KJ, so very, very strange as to what's happened there, but that's allowed Neo to just, as I said, it's just cruising off in the distance. A little bit further down though, Falk going to try and go around the outside of Campbell in towards the entry of the bus stop. He'll have the inside for the exit of the bus stop, and I think the QVR driver is going to have to give that one up, forced out wide from Falk. Campbell is still there though, side by side with him, but has to back out of that one as well. Zach just follows him suit as well, so Zach now up into 7th position. Campbell are not going to try and give this one up easy. It's an ex-QVR driver versus a current QVR driver, and Zach is the one that comes out on top with that one. Campbell though under all sorts of pressure, because Scott Buckner all over the back of him as well. Might see a move coming up towards that first chicane, as we have now got DRS. Falk Brock's going to be a little bit under pressure, not from one, not from two, but from three drivers. But they're saying that he's got himself his own DRS, so he should be fine. However, Zach looking very, very racy up behind fellow Alfa Romeo KJ, having a bit of a wiggle and gets himself a 3-second time penalty for his troubles as well for keeping that position. I personally think he should just give that position up. But yeah, KJ keeping that P5 at the moment. And yeah, I think it was just really getting held up by them. Falk and Zach need to try and get a move done on the Alpine driver. A little bit further up though, Nathan all over the back of Hannes for this P3 position. Hannes, by the way, I didn't realise, dropped off the back of Knuth and, well, yeah, got overtaken by Knuth and already dropped off 1.2 seconds. So I wonder if Hannes might have some sort of damage.
Yeah, it could be possible. I'm checking it right now. Not really getting too many good camera angles on this, but I think KJ, he just doesn't seem comfortable in the car. We watched him that entire sector 2. He's sliding all over the place. He just doesn't seem comfortable. But he's going to try to go for the move on Haynes as Campbell gets around Falk there in the background. But KJ might try to look up for something into the bus stop chicane. He's there. He's diving it. Nathan, watch out. Oh, contact, and KJ goes around. Just unfortunate to send it into the bus stop and try to make it work as Falk spins off of that as well. And a few guys in the pits. KJ, of course, Red Matt, and Campbell in the pits as well. And Krypton's also in the pits as well. So 3 softs, 2 medium runners making these early pit stops.
Yeah, certainly are, and I've just seen as well KJ resetting to track at the exit of the bus stop as well, so that will be a 5 points reduction for himself for that one. Yeah, Knuth back into the DRS of Neo, now 2 Germans, both battling it out for the lead of this race. As I said, a few guys making their way into the pits for the beginning. KJ and Appelmux are, well, Appelmux is the one that actually comes out on top with the first set of pit runners. But yeah, interestingly enough, just for the actual stream, we've had a raid from Curbs for 80 viewers, so welcome to everybody in the stream. As I was saying before, this is the 24 hours of F1. We're on race number 11 of 22. Do exclamation mark donate in the chat. You can donate over to the charities that we were racing for the whole 24 hours. Our charities being Special Effect and Young Minds Trust. So as I said, if you want to help out the cause, you of course can do exclamation mark donate in the chat, and you can just click on the links and donate if you do manage to. Obviously, if you don't, then that's fine, as long as you're sort of trying to promote the stream, trying to share it as much as you can, or even just sitting in the stream, just lurking, that's fine, just watching the action unfold throughout the entire event, because a bit more action is about to go down here, Brock. I think Pachuca might be eyeing up a move on Hannes. Hannes really is struggling. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a DRS train here, Hannes. He's got nearly 4 cars behind him. As Casper trying to look around the outside, now he has the inside. Haynes pulls into the pits, and so does Neoscooth and T1000. So that will relinquish Nathan and Casper, the 2 McLaren drivers, to the lead of the race. And Nathan, he's got 3.4 seconds back to Casper. So if Nathan can really put a really good in-lap here, if he is planning on coming into the pit on this lap, he could probably jump some of these guys that have been fighting for these positions once he comes out of the pits. Yeah, so I feel like Nathan could be... He's in a bit of clean air. Casper, Pachuca and Scott are all going to be dropping back, but you can see Scott really pushing the other Aston Martin, and you can see Pachuca trying to go down the inside of Casper at the exit of the chicane, but Scott having a little bit of a wiggle coming out of there as well, so Pachuca not able to get a move done, Scott not managing to get a move done. Casper, I don't know how he's managed to hold them off despite having no DRS to play with. The other 2 guys in the Aston Martins just couldn't find a way past. Yeah, I mean, I'm a NASCAR fan. I've seen some bump drafting, but that was something else from the 2 Aston Martins. They weren't off each other's bumper that entire Kemmel straight, and it just didn't work. So they got to try something new if they're going to try to get past Casper. They haven't dropped, I'd say maybe just a tenth to Nathan, but that's about it. Yeah, and Maledictus just having a little bit of an off. Coming up towards Savalo, so yeah, I don't know what happened with Maledictus there, but It does look as if he is carrying on. I don't know if he's got himself any damage, just went off into the gravel. But yeah, Pachuca and Scott, I don't know what is going on with them. Scott, as you said, just doing the most amount of bump drafting ever, and I feel like we may see these soft runners make their way into the pits very, very soon, if they aren't already. Yeah, Pachuca in, Scott obviously not coming in because it's his double stacking with his teammate. Caspar, interestingly, is in those, so he's going to be making the first stop on a set of the medium tyres, and Maledictus opts to carry on, so Scott will now inherit the lead of the race, Maledictus in second, and it looks as if Toxic Tomato will be the one that will be in third position at the moment. But interestingly enough, Knoof has gotten up ahead of Neo.
Yeah, I think the pit stops are going to jumble up the order here when these guys come out. And yes, Knuth got past Neo for 4th place. And he doesn't have DRS and Toxic Tomato, so he can't really pull out that gap. And we're going to see here how much this DRS can help Neo. He was 7/10 down when he opened up the DRS. And as he comes up to the breaking point for Lake Com, he made up 2/10 there, so that's how much you can gain if you're 7/10 behind. It's not as much as I've seen, but the DRS is there to help. So, and you won't have another shot at that until the first turn at the beginning of the lap.
No, certainly weren't. And Casper and Campbell just getting a move done on Redmat, but I think Campbell thought the move was a little bit too forceful, so he has he's let Redmat go straight back through. But that's now lost him a lot of time towards the back of the Dutchman of Casper, who he was battling with. Redmat, of course, also making that pit stop on the same lap as Campbell, and both just having a very good fight. As in saying that, Casper, I was saying he was having a pretty good time, and now he's just unfortunately had that spin at the entry of Puon. Must have touched that inside curb. There's no other way I could have thought that he could have tried to have that spin. So yeah, very unfortunate for him indeed. Toxic Tomato getting passed by Knoof coming up towards Blanchimont, and yeah, so the German driver now got one car separated before another German driver as well. So Toxic Tomato is going to be playing a little bit of a role here, and I think Knoof is really hoping that he can hold him up. And saying that, come straight in the pits as soon as I said that.
Yeah, the ultimate commentator's curse there on Casper spinning there. And, I mean, Toxic Tomato, he did 6 laps on these, or now 7 laps on these mediums, and he's coming into the pits. So it's a pretty early stop for the mediums. And he's going to throw on the softs. That is now 5 drivers on the soft. Kryptonite leading those soft runners, but everybody on the mediums. I imagine they'll probably, maybe, I have no idea. I only know the 1-stop strategy around here. I don't know the 2-stop strategy, but so it's all new to me, which is great because I'll be surprised at what happens, really.
Well, I could only assume if it's an easy soft to medium stop, I'd probably say they'd go for another set of softs towards the end. Maybe I'd say on like lap 16, maybe 17, and go 5 laps to the end on softs, or try and maximise as much as they can on the set of softs. Interesting thing to note is Scott and Pachuca still both going at it. Scott this time managing to get that move done and manages to keep that position now in the end through Brussels. So yeah, Scott managing to get that move done. Unfortunately though, picked himself up a 3-second time penalty in the process, and now all over the back of KJ for this 7th position. All these guys have got themselves penalties, and just to add to the train of penalties, Campbell also joining in with the penalties. Maledictus getting a move done on Redmat at the exit of Puon, interestingly enough. So the Portuguese driver, nice move from him indeed, and is now going to try and catch up with his fellow QVR counterpart. Is a little bit further down the field. Falk, Dink having a bit of a spin coming through the I think, is it the Campus? Is it Campus? I think it's Campus, but yeah, having a little bit of a spin coming through that chicane, and unfortunately for him, dropping down quite a few positions from that train that he was currently in. And again, Scott, he's not done with the attack. He's now trying to see if he can go for a move on KJ up towards the bus stop, but has to maintain that position for now, down in 8th position. He wants to try and get this move done. Obviously all of these guys have that penalty in this little train. Further behind though, Maledictus, the only one in this train not really with the penalty. Same with Hannes. Hannes, by the way, dropped back quite a few positions, as you can see, because he was with Knoof and Neo. So yeah, I can only assume Hannes. I don't know how he did it, but I can only assume he picked up damage.
Yeah, I definitely dropped back farther than I thought he would. But Maledictus, he's at the end of this train. He's on the softs. Everybody ahead of him is on the medium, so he's really going to get a move on, but he didn't get a good run through El Rouge. Scott gets around KJ. That is crucial for him, seeing how just uncomfortable KJ seems in that car. And we'll probably see now Scott start to pull away from KJ, and Pertuca behind. Campbell right on the back of Pertuka there, going through Malbundy and now through No Name. And yeah, you can just see the gap that Scott pulls out on EJ, going through No Name. And now through Puhan. Yeah, that was definitely crucial for Scott to get around that Alpine. Because now he's really going to stretch his legs here. And he's going to try to catch up to Kryptonite, who is on the softs.
Yeah, he certainly will. And interesting thing to note as well, the two Mercedes a little bit further behind, both just chopping and changing positions. Fruitful, the IF5 driver getting up ahead of Red Matt in the end. So Red Matt on the set of the medium tyres, Fruitful on the set of the soft tyres. So Fruitful's going to look to go on another set of the medium tyres, maybe at the end of the race. I don't know if he started on the set of the mediums or if he started on a set of the softs. Obviously, if he started on the set of the mediums, then he can go softs at the end. If he started on softs, then he's going to have to go mediums at the end of the race. So guys that are in the top 5 all on a set of the medium tyres, I'm assuming they're going to be opting to go for a set of the softs at the end of the race. Campbell getting a move done on Pachuca at the exit of the bus stop, both with DRS as well. Campbell just now going to try and be the one that challenges KJ up towards El Rouge and Radion. You can see how close behind Pachuca is from Campbell, just trying to get that or gain that position back from the QBR driver, but the Scotsman just manages to hold up in front, and you can see he's starting to gain on the Dutchman up in front of him. So let's have a look. Campbell, is he going to be able to get a move done coming up towards the Lecombe chicane? DRS is now wide open for Campbell, and I don't think he's going to be close enough. KJ, I don't think he's going to be able, or is just going to be able to hold on to that one. You can see the red flashing lights on the back of Pachuca and on the back of Campbell's cars, but they're all so close together as there's yellow flags towards the back end of the field. That is Aspect having that spin at turn 1 and the entry of the hairpin. So unfortunately for, I believe that's the Tic Tac and Co team, having not exactly having the best of race so far. It could be worse though. You could be the VOR Nifos guys, who unfortunately has their driver who's DNF from this race. So a few things going on, but it's sort of, I say even now, it's still a massive train going on for P7 here.
Yeah, Belgium is a train track. Oh, as you say that, Maledictus, Pertuka side by side through the right-left chicane to end the second sector. Oh, it just forced wide, but I think that was clean enough. Maledictus gets ahead. Man, that was scary to go side by side through that chicane, because there is a little bit of an auto spin curve there, but they've dropped off the back of Campbell just a tad bit. Maledictus nearly outside the DRS range. He just dropped out of it there. He's going to have to get the DRS down the front straight if he wants to get the DRS down the Kemmel straight. So it's going to be, he's got to have a good exit here, and I think with those soft tires, he's definitely going to have to. Oh, it's the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Haynes, Fruitful. How did they keep that out of the wall?
I don't know. Fruitful and Hans, they were side by side throughout the entirety of that straight out of Stavilo and coming up towards Blanchard, and even through the bus stop they were still both side by side. That was some cracking racing between the pair of them. I obviously didn't want to interrupt you, but yeah, Fruitful, what and Hannes, give yourselves a pat on the back. That was some very clean racing between the pair of them. Just unfortunate for Fruitful, a little bit of oversteer as he came out of the bus stop chicane. You can see no Hannes now going for that move on Pachuca down for P11. Pachuca still going to hold it around the outside. Hannes takes that inside curb and manages to get that move done on the Aston Martin. Hannes having that inside at the beginning of the Lecombe chicane means that he had that advantage on his side. So the German now up into 11th position, trying to chase down Maledictus. And yeah, Maledictus, he loves that second chicane, doesn't he? I think he's made now 2 or 3 overtakes just at that chicane alone. So yeah, Mala, give yourself a pat on the back, because that was some impressive stuff, I've got to admit. But yeah, as I said, a little bit further up the field, the top 5 completely dropped the rest of the grid. Kryptonite in 6th position on the set of the soft tyres. He's starting to gain onto the back of these guys ever so slightly, but being on those soft tyres, and he's been on them for 5 laps now, I don't think they're really going to have enough life in them to try and go for moves, try and outbrake the guys on the set of the mediums. It might almost be close to the cross. I think really are, well, if Kryptonite was on fresh softs at this point, then I'd say he has an opportunity, the best opportunity to try and go for something, especially considering that guys up in that through sector 2 he can just make the most amount of gains as possible.
Yeah, I think you know, my knowledge with this track, it's the one step. That's all I know. And you hit lap 7 or 8, and he's been on these tires for 6 laps. So I think that crossover point to where the mediums start to become just a little bit better than the softs is probably now around lap 6. So He's got maybe this lap to get within the DRS, but after that, I can't see him gaining any more time on the guys ahead in this train for the front five.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And Kryptonite, he started already dropping back. You can see it now. 1.7 seconds separates him and Alpamart at the back of that train. And yeah, Knuth, the one that's still leading on this train. Neo in second, Nathan in third, T1000 Zach for the Humble Squad in fourth, and then Alpamart for Ecos in fifth as well. So yeah, all close racing between those guys in the top five. Then as I said, Kryptonite hanging back a little bit for the absolute units, and 1.5 seconds behind those top five guys. And then you've got Scott Bugner for Team Has-Beens in seventh position, about 3.5 seconds behind, but has got a massive train following him. You've got KJ Campbell, Maledictus, Hannes, Pachuca, Fruitful, Redmat, and Casper, almost basically half of the grid just following in this train of led by Scott Bugner. So I'm sure the Team Has-Been guys are just going to be telling Scott just to do his best of trying to defend as much as possible, and hopefully it will all pay out for him. The only problem though, he has a 3-second time penalty, so does KJ and so does Campbell, so Maledictus is the one really in the driving seat to try and get something done as Kryptonite and Alpamart make their pit stop. So Alpamart might be going on a fresh set of the soft tyres, interestingly enough, as we enter onto lap 13 of 22. Kryptonite also making his way into the pits. I think he has to go for another. He has to go for a set of medium tyres, but it's a double stack for the Ferraris because they're both the same team. So Kryptonite going to be the one, going to be losing out massively. In fact, he comes in for a fresh set of soft tyres, and yeah, both. Kryptonite is the one that's going to be losing out massively from that one. He's now in fact going to be dropping back. I believe he would be behind Scott and potentially even behind KJ and Campbell. Once, hopefully for the undercut though, he can try and get himself back into that prime position of trying to attack those other guys in that top five.
Yeah, I mean, Kobas says they made it to where you can double stack and you don't lose as much time, but yeah, I mean, he was right behind Alphamuk when they came into the pits. Now he's 5 seconds behind. So, I mean, it's still a net loss. I mean, it's just that, you know, you're not really teammates in this. Every you know, car is their own team. So it's really hard to kind of strategize when, you know, your teammate, whoever's in the same car as you, is going to come into the pits. And that's exactly what happened there with Krypton. And, yeah, it's just unfortunate that, you know, well, that's what we have to do this so we can get, you know, 20 teams into this event.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what we have to do. So, yeah, Knuth's still the one that's in the lead of this race at the moment. Neo starting to drop back ever so slightly. I think both starting to use a bit more of their ERS now. I think Knuth, in fact, is on a massive charge coming through Blanchimont. He's trying to get out of that DRS range, and in fact, he has done that coming up towards the bus stop chicane. So, Neo, no DRS for the German. In fact, he follows Knuth into the pits. Nathan follows him. Zach follows him. So, they're all making sure they're not getting undercut by Alpamart down in 14th position. This is their second stop for the both of them. Anybody else made 2 stops at this point? Alpamart, Kryptonite and Fruitful, as well as Falk and Aspect are the only ones that have made that second stop, and of course we've got a few more guys in the pits now. Obviously as I said, Knuth, Neo, Zach, Nathan, Campbell, KJ and Speed Redmat all into the pits now, and Neo still merges out behind Knuth, and Knuth almost side by side with Toxic Tomato. Interesting thing to note as well, I thought Knuth was going to get DRS off of Toxic Tomato, but no, he didn't manage to get that in the end. Nathan though could be looking to go for a bit of a charge on Neo as there's a full yellow flag. Why is there a safety car?
I don't know. I swear I turned it off. I remember going through all the settings. Huh.
Okay. That's
I mean,
that's an interesting one.
No, I'm just as baffled as you are because I do remember turning it off.
Very interesting. Might have to take the results from lap number 13 then, because that's I don't know why that's happened, to be honest with you guys, but I think the guys that are, well, first down to 5th, or down to 6th, sorry, out in front will still jump behind all of those guys that they were battling with anyway, but I don't know, that's a very interesting one. I'm not too sure why that's happened, to be honest with yourself, so
I think I just lost my job for next year.
Yep.
Seeing that I'm commentating with the guy that runs this.
Nicely done, Maverick. You done very well with that.
Oh.
Well, I mean, Knuth will still be in the lead of this race anyway, under the safety car. I don't know where everybody else is going to come out though. I don't know if Fruitful would have gotten a jump. Oh, sorry, Speed Redman. I don't know if he would have gotten a jump on any of those guys, because I feel like that's where they're going to come out in front. Hopefully, that little gaggle of cars that is next to that pit lane now jump up ahead of the other lot. But I don't think they will actually. I think Pachuca. I don't know, not sorry, Pachuca. Who was that just sort of emerged out? I think that was Scott. Just emerged out behind KJ, which I think was that where he was before.
No, Scott got past KJ a couple laps before the safety car came out. And he just never broke away. But I think he was already in 7th position.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it has had that big of an impact on the race, but I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna count, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I mean, might have to discuss that literally after in the admin chat. But yeah, at the moment the show goes on. It is what it is at this present moment. As I said, we'll discuss it very shortly after the race. But yeah, so at the moment Knuth is the one that is leading under the safety car. Neo in 2nd, Nathan in 3rd, Alphamut in 4th, Zach in 5th, KJ in 6th, Scott in 7th, Kryptonite in 8th, Maleditis, 9th, Campbell in 10th, Hannes in 11th, Fruitful 12th, Pachuca 13th, Toxic Tomato 14th, Casper 15th, Hookie in 16th, Redmat in 17th, Falcon 18th, and Aspect just making his way out of the pits. I think he's made a 3rd stop now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, everyone has done their 2 stops. Of course, Redmat and Falk, they kind of gotten themselves a free pit stop and make their way up to the back of the field, so I suppose it's a bit of a lifeline from them if we do take the results at the end of the race. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Waffles, for some reason, has just joined himself back into the race, but yeah, as I said, I suppose the show does go on. I guess it is what it is. But yeah, I think we should have the safety car in, not at the end of this lap, but at the end of next lap. Might delay things a little bit more slightly, so hopefully it doesn't, but I don't know. Hopefully we don't get another safety car or anything like that. As long as everyone races as cleanly as they possibly can, once that safety car comes in and we don't get another one. So yeah, I suppose we shall wait and see what goes on when we do this restart. But I mean, those top 5, they were completely running away with it, I must admit. I don't think the result would have changed with those guys anyway. I said they all made their way into the pits. That was how it kind of went with that anyway. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of speechless knowing that it was my mistake, and I do apologize to this. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting because this shouldn't even have happened, and I don't even know like what caused the safety car, because no one retired or anything. I mean, everyone was, well, not everybody, but a lot of people were making their pit stops. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't quite know, to be honest with you, because I know, well, Waffles retired earlier on in the race, and there was nothing that came out for that with the safety car being on, so I don't know. I genuinely don't know. To be honest with you, so yeah, I said we'll carry it on anyway. I said we'll have a look at it after the race. If it's going to be the case that we take it from lap 13, then we take it from lap 13. If we take it from what it finishes, we take it from what it finishes. The only thing I'm thinking though is that the guys that got all the penalties, I think are going to jump down quite significantly. So that's what makes me think we could just be taking it from like lap 12, lap 13. But even then, a lot of people wouldn't have made their 2nd stop at that point. So we might. I really don't know how this is going to play out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But as I said, anyway, Knuth is the one that is leading under the safety car. Neo is in 2nd, Nathan in 3rd, Alphamut in 4th, Zach in 5th. KJ is in 6th, Scott in 7th, Kryptonite in 8th, Maleditis is 9th, Campbell rounding out that top 10. Kryptonite and Maleditis, I suppose, have been given an extra lifeline. I think Kryptonite especially, considering that he was, I think, quite significantly down the field. I think he was down in about 12th or 11th position before that pit stop. So, yeah, I suppose safety car is in this lap. Kryptonite, I think, has benefited very big or very massively from this. So we'll keep an eye out on the Belgian driver, see how he does around his home track. Could potentially move up a few more positions. Of course, he will do from the guys that have got those penalties. But I suppose we're going to have Knuth just lead us for the safety car restart, Maverick. Do you reckon Neo's going to be able to capitalise on it? And do you think we could be having an absolute corker towards the end of the race?
I mean, it's nearly a 5-lap, open lobby right here. So I think these guys are going to be super aggressive. Hopefully, they respect the normal league racing rules here and don't push each other off track. But Knuth has already gone even before Blanchimont. That is a very early jump, but it's actually paid off. He's already half a second ahead of Neo, and Nathan's 3/10 off. They round through the bus stop chicane. Green flag. We are back under racing.
Yeah, so Knuth getting a very good getaway, as you said before. The exit of Blanchimont gets that lead of the race and gets that gap up ahead of Neo. Now into second, Nathan trying to follow suit in third, and you can see a little bit further down behind KJ trying to go for the move on T1K Zach, coming up through El Rouge and Radion, but I don't think the Dutchman's going to get any sort of move done on the Frenchman as of yet though, but going to be trying to utilise as much ERS as he possibly can. Already got in that 1 second gap out ahead of Scott Bugner, and you can see T1K Zach trying to go for the move on Alpamont towards the late com chicane. Alpamont's going to have to try to go down the inside. A little bit of contact between a pair of them, and Alpamont's gone round. KJ's followed him round as well. So KJ and Alpamont have gone around. I'm not too sure what has gone on between, or what went on with KJ, but I think there was a bit of, it was definitely a lot of contact between both. Who was it? Sorry, it was KJ and Scott. KJ and T1000 Zach. Massive bit of contact between a pair of them. I don't know if Zach left enough room on the inside for Alpamont, but a little bit further down, Phil Casper and Toxic Tomato both going at it side by side. Coming up through Poo1, and in fact, Toxic Tomato completely forcing out Casper, and Casper's gone round. Casper's completely smashed his front wing. I beg, please do not bring out yet another safety car, but I think, I do think this race is going to be counted from lap 13. I don't think there's any way we're going to have this counted towards the end of this race. I don't know, we will wait and see, but Casper and KJ, well, what was looking very promising for the pair of them is now gone completely bust for him, especially for Casper. He's got no front wing at all, and KJ's basically just pushing him coming through Stabilo. So yeah, Knuth though still the one that's leading this race at the moment. Neo in second, Nathan in third, Zach in fourth. Scott 1.5 seconds now behind those top four, and already getting that massive gap out.
Yeah, it's a little bit of interesting driving standards there for the guys at the back, especially KJ, Casper, and Toxic Tomato. And I think those guys down there are going to pull into the pits and get some new tires, get those wings changed. But Fruitful on the back of Maledictus here for P8. I think Campbell up ahead. He's on the inside of Krypton into Lake Com. Oh, and there's contact, and Campbell goes around. Unfortunate. As he cuts back across the track, trying to get the car turned around. He's going to rejoin in 12th, just ahead of Aspect and Haynes. So really unfortunate there for the QVR driver to get spun around there off the right rear tire of Krypton.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. So Campbell now down into 12th position after getting that spin with his, having a bit of contact with Kryptonite, trying to go down the inside through the Laycom chicane. You never want to have that inside for that Laycom because that's very, very tight. Trying to make that, especially with that curve on the inside, does tend to spin you. Speaking of a curve that tends to spin you, Hannah's now going around, coming through the other chicane at the exit of Poo1, so the ERT driver not exactly having the best of races, to say the least, even from I think lap 2 onwards. Just has not been having too good of a race. DRS is going to be enabled on this lap. Knuth almost building on that 1 second gap from his fellow German driver of Neo. Neo needs to try and keep within that DRS if he wants a chance of fending off Nathan, because Nathan is looking a bit racy behind him. He's dropping Zach out of that DRS range as well, so the Frenchman needs to try and do something to try and keep within those top 3 guys. And you can see Neo trying to use as much battery as he can to keep within DRS of Knuth, and you can see he's almost run out of battery completely. Nathan still has about 40% left in his tank, so we might might see the Relentless driver go for a move on the XL driver coming towards the end of the, or coming up towards the Lake Common chicane. So let's have a look. Nathan, DRS now wide open. I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough. I think Neo managed to just get himself some DRS off of the back of Knuth, but I don't think we're going to have a similar story at the or coming up to the end of this lap. I think Neo could be under a bit of trouble from the Relentless driver.
Yeah, Nathan seems to be the one in control of this little front train here. Obviously, Snuth leading this train, but Neo's only got 16%. Snuth only has 30% ERS. Nathan was nearly up to 50-60% going through No Name, so he's definitely saving it. Uses a bit of it out of Puhan, but I think we'll definitely see the move be done next time they go down the Kemmel Straight into Lake Com, and we may see Nathan overtake Neo for second place.
Yeah, so I think Neo could be under a little bit of pressure coming up towards the end of this lap. T1K Zach also now managed to get himself back into the DRS of Nathan. Of course, there's not going to be any DRS coming up towards Blanchimont, but Nathan, that straight line speed that he has got, a lot more battery he's got as well. He's just keeps on downshifting and upshifting to make sure he doesn't pass Neo coming up towards the bus stop, interestingly enough. It's a very interesting tactic from the Relentless driver, but I suppose it does work because he does get the DRS coming up towards turn 1, and we'll get the DRS at the exit of Blanchimont, at the exit of Radion, sorry. So yeah, I think Neo is going to be under quite a bit of pressure now from Nathan and from T1000 Zach. You can see Nathan using that ERS now to just try and catch up to the back of Neo. Neo only has about 15% of ERS to his name, so I think we're going to be seeing a move and a switch between Relentless and XL. And let's have a look. DRS now wide open for Nathan. Just goes around the outside. I don't think Neo's going to try and defend this one too hard. It does cover off the inside, but there's not much that he can particularly do. You can see that red flashing light on the back of his car. Hopefully he's going to try and build up a little bit of ERS throughout this lap, just so at least he can cover off T1000 Zach and then maybe try and go for an attack on that final lap. Got 3 more laps left to go. Lap 20 or lap 22. Knuth is the one that is leading 1.5 seconds up ahead of Nathan in second, Neo in third, T1000 Zach in fourth, dropping Scott completely. Scott down into 5th position, but 3 seconds behind those top 4 already. Kryptonite manages to get himself up into 6th, Maledictus in 7th, Fruitful in 8th, Pachuca in 9th, Redmat in 10th, Campbell gets himself up into 11th position, overtaking WR Falk for 12th, Aspect is in 13th, considering that at the beginning of this race he was about 45 seconds behind with a mistaken safety car. Aspect has now got himself back up into 13th position, so I think Aspect will be very happy with yourself, Maverick, for him getting back up into 13th position, getting more points that he was probably hoping for this race. Alphamut down into 14th, ESW Hooky in 15th, ERT Hannah's in 16th, Toxic Tomato in 17th, Casper in 18th, and KJ down in 19th. And then Waffles is the only driver that we have lost so far in this race. But as I said, we're going to just double check and see who we are going to, or if we are going to be able to count this one or not. I said it'll probably be discussed straight after the race, and just see obviously what goes on with that one. But yeah, second to last lap now, Maverick, and I think we're going to be seeing some moves going on down for that 5th position. I think Kryptonite just got that move done on Scott Buckner. However, I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah, Scott got loose out of the bus stop. Oh, huge crash! Oh my goodness. Let's hope the Ferrari's okay. I think Scott is damaged too. He cut the top of El Rouge there. And now Fruitful and Maledictus side by side down the Kemmel Straight. Fruitful was the one that got the DRS out of that. Your Maledictus now down to 6th, Fruitful up to 5th place. It's a blessing in disguise for the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri driver. It's unfortunate that Maledictus isn't racing for QVR. Said I wasn't going to be biased, but here we are. But yeah, just really unfortunate for those two to come together. I mean, they were racing so clean at that train the entire race, and for it just to come all, to an end there on the old start-finish straight, it's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, as I said, I think it was all the case that Kryptonite was just trying to cover off Scott, and I think he may have just turned a little bit too early to the right. At the same time, though, I feel like Scott might have been better just to sort of back off from that one and just make sure he got the DRS and just get past Kryptonite with that. But yeah, I think, if anything, I feel that might fall a little bit more on Kryptonite than it does with Scott. I don't know. I suppose if they do take it to the stewards, I suppose the other stewards or other admins will take a look into it and see what they think about that. But yeah, Kryptonite just sort of moseying on around. Hayna's almost going into the back of Kryptonite, but since all of this has gone down, Knuth getting that gap to Nathan by 2 seconds, and now onto the final lap of the race. And Neo, I think, is now going to be eyeing up this move on Nathan. I said all he had to do was just try and save up a little bit of ERS from the attacker Zach. Or the Zach attack, I should have said, but yeah, he's just trying to stay up ahead of the Frenchman for now, and I think he's going to be close enough to getting a move done on Nathan. So let's have a look. DRS is now going to be, or is going to be open very, very soon, as this has been a spinner at the back. I believe that is Toxic Tomato, just dropping back a bit. But here we go. DRS now wide open for the German. Nathan using all of his ERS to try and stay up in front. Neo's going to go down the inside in towards the Lacom chicane. Zach's going to try and go down the inside of that and try and almost make it free wide. Neo's going to have the inside for the Lacom, and then Nathan's going to have the inside for the other part of it. But Neo gets in front of Nathan at the exit of the Lacom chicane. Very fair driving between the pair of them. Obviously teammates over in the League of Europe, as we both know, Maverick. But yeah, both of those guys very close and very clean racing between the pair of them. Neo now back up into second position, but it's not going to be over yet. You've still got the run up towards Blanchimont and towards the bus stop, where if they build up enough of their ERS, they can just use that as much as they can and go for that move in towards the bus stop chicane. So it's not all over yet. Neo, I don't think, has got this second place secured. I think Knuth has got this first place secured unless he makes a mistake. But Neo, Nathan and Zach, that is all still to play for that second place.
Yeah, I was really hoping for the entertainment take that Zach was going to go for a 3 wide into Lake Con, but now it's the run to Blanchimont. Does Nathan have anything left in the tank? We saw the straight line speed he had on that one overtake he pulled on Neo going into the bus stop, but he just seems too far back now. He's peaking, he's in the middle of the track. Oh, and he bumps Neo out of the way. The bump and run, Zach gets through, side by side of the line. Oh man,
I
what
think
a
that
finish
was a
for
little bit of a
third.
shove out. Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a shove out from Zach, although saying that, I think Nathan Moore done that on his own. But I don't know, I suppose we'll get with the stewards. But what a battle that was for that second position. Knuth, of course, taking the win for race number 11 of 22 for tonight. Neo does take second position. I think that's Excel's highest finish position so far for tonight. Zach in third, Nathan in fourth. Again, that could be pending any sort of stewards inquiries, but I think he was going to finish fourth anyway after that bump he did on Neo. Fruitful in fifth, Maledictus in sixth, Falcon seventh, Redmat in eighth, Pachuca in ninth, Campbell in 10th, Alpamact in 11th, Hannah's in 12th, Aspect in 13th, Hooky 14th, Kryptonite in 15th, Casper in 16th, I think Toxic Tomato in 17th in the end as well. And yeah, it's I think the things I don't know what we're going to do with this one as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, I don't have any say in this in terms of what we're going to do for the standings. I'll leave that to the professionals that actually know how to make a lobby. I'm just going to keep bashing myself about this. I don't know if I'm going to get any sleep tonight knowing that I messed this up. But, however, this probably was the most entertaining race we had today. So I guess you can thank me for that. I'm just going to go ahead and clap myself out of this. But, yeah, Knuth takes the win. And takes how many points does the winning team get? 25, or did we bump that up?
No, that's still 25 unless you put it in double points. But yeah, Knuth wins it in the end, as I said. Neo taking that second position, Zach in third, Nathan in fourth, Fruitful in fifth, Maledictus in sixth, Falk in seventh, Redmat in eighth, Pachuca in ninth, Campbell round out the top 10, Alpamact in 11th, Hannah's 12th, Aspect 13th, Hooky 14th, Kryptonite in 15th, Toxic Tomato 16th, Casper in 17th, Scott Buckner in 18th, KJ ends up disconnecting, I think, on the last lap, so it ends up finishing 19th, and Waffles ran out that final position. But yeah, that's a very interesting one, I gotta say. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out, if I'm completely honest with you. Yeah. I don't know. I suppose we'll wait and see with that, if I'm honest with you. But that's just how it's going to go at the moment. And I suppose we'll let you know very soon if that is the case, how it's going to go. Whilst they're just sort of changing people over in the stream or people over in the lobby. We'll be back very, very shortly. And of course I'll also have an answer with you if that race is going to stand or not. So yeah, do bear with us 1 second and enjoy the cheeky elevator music.
uh,
Brock, you had one fucking job.
it was, dude. It was on,
One job.
dude. It was. It's on increased.
Increased.
Then how do we not get a safety car for a waffle? What?
Oh my
That
god.
is unbelievable. All right, it's off now. I promise, it's off. All right, let me. Are we switching lobbies or no?
No, it's just it just changed the track.
Okay. I know I can do that.
Can you?
Okay. So I invited Ryan and Mike. That's all I had, I think. I don't think anybody else added me back.
Oh.
Oh, I gotta. That's who. I have to invite my fellow TikToker, Spag.
Right, let me do the results real quick then. results. Let me know when all 20 are in, by the way.
Okay, there's 17 right now.
It's only because I'm just doing the standings at the moment. 12. Campbell, 11. Alpermutt 10.
I think we're just missing the guys at the bottom of the list. I honestly don't know.
2 Alpines, so... one sec. So Ship's Fingers, so KJ and... Tomato? No. KJ and... Yeah, KJ and Tomato. Okay, so KJ's in. Oh, wait, someone else just left. Oh, for fuck's sake. And... yeah, here's Toxic Tomato.
Okay, I invited Tomato back. Yeah, there he is.
So
Ugh.
just waiting for the TDB?
Uh, looks like it. 20. We have 20 now.
Ready?
Yeah.
There we go. All 20 back in, going for round number 12 of Britain. We're now officially at the halfway point. You can see the timer at the top left, 11 hours and 58 minutes. So, yeah, literally, we are at basically the midway point now for the 24 hours. Really quickly, these boys wanted me to do this. A little shout out to the guys that I work with. Good old John Watson, Umran and Cameron. So, yeah, good old boys that are there. I'm sure you probably got Kieran and Reza sort of still just chilling there. Probably high out of your minds, but you know, it is what it is. Probably just laughing at the fact that you're just watching this the entire thing, but yeah, I appreciate you boys being in here anyway. But yeah, round number 12 for this event. Going around to Britain, I'm starting to get a little bit sleepy, ain't gonna lie. Obviously, I know you're going to be alright because it's probably still around midday, coming up towards night time for you now, Brock. So, I'm sure you're probably just chilling.
I mean, it's only 7:10, so it's not that late. But I've been up since 7, so I've been up for 12 hours now. But yeah, I'm still kicking. I just grabbed a Red Bull, so hopefully that will keep me awake for for my 2 races coming up after this race and then Hungary.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we'll keep an eye out and see how this is going to go. Yeah, just waiting for all these guys just to do their setups and their well, yeah, just their setups really, and then we can get this one straight underway. Someone's just at me on the Discord really quickly. Yeah, no, that's fine. So just having a quick look because there's a few more like stewards inquiries that are going on at the moment, but yeah, at the moment hopefully I mean you've taken off the safety car now, so hopefully we don't get the same problem. If we do, I'll be very shocked. But yeah, I suppose we'll ride on board with who do we ride on board with? We're not going to be TDB because TDB's the one that's going to be basically crashing on your screen at any given second now. He's already invalidated on his lap, but for some reason not DNF'd. So for some reason it's now going to be Scott that's starting at the back of the grid. Don't know why TDB just didn't invalidate, didn't try and DNF himself, but it is what it is. Neo, we're right on board with the XL driver because you know, a little bit of XL bias. I'm the one controlling the stream, so you get to do what I don't. And yeah, so we're right on board with Neo. Just watching him run it around, coming through Luffield, sorry, and now coming up towards Cop's corner. German just trying to get himself on the pole position. He got very close. I thought well, I mean, we both thought that he did on like over in Spa, but just unfortunately didn't manage to. So Neo just making his way now through the infamous Maggers, Beckett's and Chapel corner in that nice looking AlphaTauri, and we'll see if he does manage to maintain the lead at the moment. It looks as if he does. So Neo's still just going to be leading the way at the moment in this one-shot qualifying. Yeah, we've now officially hit the 12-hour mark, so 12 hours 2 minutes now, and yeah, I don't know how it's gone so quick. So far, altogether raised, I think it's still about £1,119 altogether, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're just sort of getting it up there ever so slowly, but I suppose any donation is better than no donation. So yeah, as I said, very happy with everyone doing this as well. 5 people didn't manage to complete laps. Neo is the one on pole position. Rizé in second, Kuhn in third, KJ in fourth, and Toxic Tomato in fifth. Carmental is sixth, Kryptonite in seventh. Nick in 8th, and I didn't really get to catch the rest of those guys or where they were, but I think it was Equos driver in 9th position, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, interesting qualifying. Half of them didn't even manage to get a lap time, or not half of them, but about a quarter of them didn't manage to get a lap time on the board.
Yeah, I mean, Silverstone's always a pretty tricky track to get a time in. It's really easy to run wide at Cops, really easy to cut Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, so. But Neo gets pole, Rice second, Cohen third, KG gets fourth, Toxic Tomato in fifth, Carmental 6th, Krypton 7th, ERT Nick is in 8th, Waffles 9th, Mike 10th, Spag 11th, Jax in 12th, Harley 13th, Iceman 14th, Ecos 84, Brandon Glover, Joel, Almost Zeus, Scott, and Vapor TDB will round out the bottom 5 for this British Grand Prix, round number 12.
Yeah, so hopefully Neo's going to be able to bring this one home this time. Instead of bottling instead of bottling that first place in the end, but yeah, I'm sure the old man won't mind me saying that. But Neo's going to try and look to get a bit of redemption from going from second up to first in this one, so we'll keep our eye out for the German driver. Not only that, Rosé up in second as well, and Shizuku in third as well. So it's going to be a few interesting races, or I think this race is going to be very interesting because Britain usually does provide some very good races. It's kind of like Austria. Like, a lot of people love this track because of the racing that it provides. A lot of the time it's DRS trains, but with how much of a variety and like pace it is within this field, I don't know. I think it's gonna be tight. I think.
Yeah, I mean this track always has DRS trains, so I think that usually applies to the tight racing that we usually expect here at Silverstone. I think it's probably one of the. I think this track was made for Formula One cars. Some of the tracks we go to now, it just feels like they're kind of just thrown out there with not even thinking about a Formula One car racing around it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how these guys do. We got some new guys coming in to this race. Some guys doing another race after Belgium. So we'll see how this new mixture of drivers can get on as we enter the midnight hours over in Europe, and we'll see if any of these drivers can stay awake while they're driving around this track, as Brandon and Joel have now retired or disqualified themselves from the formation lap.
I think it's more going to be the struggle of I'm going to try and need to keep myself up throughout this entire thing. So still got another 12 more hours to go, and I can already feel my eyes starting to drop ever so slightly. So I would like to say I'm screwed, but we'll see anyway. I'm hoping a couple monsters might try and keep me up a little bit more. I'll probably down them like a glass of water, so don't know, we'll wait and see. But yeah, Neo, as I said, the one that's on part at the moment, Rosé in second, Shizuku in third, KJ in fourth, Toxic Tomato in fifth, and Commenter List in sixth. Mike down in 10th position as well. I say down, that's probably more up in 10th position. Quite surprising enough, I'm not going to lie, to see him up in 10th, but up ahead of Spag as well. So I don't know what happened with Spag, but behind Ivor and Mike in 10th position. I think QBR might need to have a word with him, I think Lenny's a little bit, I can't believe Lenny's come down to that point. So, yeah, Spag might have a little bit of telling off from a few of the QBR boys afterwards for getting out qualified by Ivor and Mike. But I suppose Mike's not particularly slow, but he's not particularly quick. Can't lie. I don't think he'd mind me saying that. And he does tend to bottle a lot, so if he does actually finish behind Spag, then I think things are going to be very interesting in that QBR chat. And please do let me know how that's going to go, Maverick.
I will be the mole.
Oh,
for you. I mean, you can't hit each other in the formation lap, guys. I don't understand. Like, it's
the
not that hard.
Contacts, Nick, Waffles, Brandon, Joel, all just coming together in this formation lap. Don't know what's going on with all of those guys, but they're doing that anyway. But they're all lining up now just for the start of round number 12 of 22 for this 24-hour event. So thank you to everyone that has tuned in, everyone that has donated so far. We're currently sitting at 1,119 between the two altogether, so hopefully we can try and raise this one up a lot more. Hopefully towards the middle or the end of the stream. Into the graveyard shift now. 5 red lights are on for round number 12, and it is away they go. Neo getting a very good start. Rosé having a little bit of oversteer at the start, but moves up in front of Kuhn as KJ, getting in front of Kuhn as well. Kuhn down into 4th position, losing 1 position from KJ. Toxic Tomato and Commentalist both going side by side. Toxic Tomato going a little bit deep actually, and Commentalist getting that move done for 5th position. Trying to go down the inside of KJ now, and in fact Toxic Tomato, the other Alpine, sorry, now under threat from Carmenta. Sorry, I thought it was he was trying to go for the move on him already, but I think that was Kuhn trying to go for the move on KJ, so my apologies. Carmenta gets the move done on Toxic Tomato, and Toxic Tomato down in 6th position at the moment. Scott and Joel changing positions, and TDB and Harley. TDB at the very back of the grid, now up into 15th already. Humble Zeus, or Ron Zeus, shall I say, up into 12th position already as well. Harley and TDB both going side by side, but I think TDB is just going to have to maintain behind him for now, as I believe that was Harley, in fact, getting past Jay Correa. I don't know what happened with them there, as a few guys going wide at the exit of Cops. Speed Iceman trying to just maintain that position from Scott Buckner, but Scott Buckner having a little bit of oversteer coming through Beckett's, and I think a little bit of contact between him and Speed Iceman has now allowed Joel just to go around the outside of Chapel and get that move done on Iceman, and now he's under threat from Ecos JSAC as Brandon Glover dropping back about 3 seconds behind the rest of the train. Speed Iceman going diving it straight down the inside of IFR. Joel coming up through Stowe corner and up towards the Vale chicane, and I think JSAC might try and follow him suit through the Vale chicane. You can see Joel just not Joel does manage to hold on up ahead of the Ecos driver, and Spag has actually come into the pits for QVR, so I don't know if he must have had a bit of contact at the start, but yeah, Spag already into the pits. Brandon Glover also into the pits at the end of this lap, but at the moment it sort of remained even as it was before. I think Waffles just getting the move done on Nick in the end, but other than that, everyone inside the top 10 really has just sort of remained where they have. Everyone outside of the bottom 10 is where things have started to heat up. And speaking of that, Harley at the exit, I think, of turn 4, going, I think just must have had too much oversteer and just gone completely off the track. Jax J. Correa also getting a little bit of a nudge from TDP, and in fact getting a nudge from Speed Iceman as well. Speed Iceman, I don't think he was expecting him to be there, tried to just take the line as normal and ends up going into the side of him. I think Jax J. Correa just not exactly having the best start to his race either.
Yeah, I think this first lap was pretty clean. When it comes to the top 10, like you were saying, but this back half of the grid, they're going at it, just bumping into each other, pushing each other around, and I think now everything's sort of settled down, so we're going to start to see probably the groups pull away now that DRS will be enabled on this next lap number 3. But Neo hasn't pulled away from Rise yet, and KJ's just sitting in behind in 3rd. Everyone's under half a second from each other, so this definitely is going to be a pretty powerful DRS train when they start to open the DRS down the Wellington and the Hangar Straight.
Yeah, I felt like Neo could be in a little bit of trouble. His yellow flag's a little bit further on back, and that is in fact Jax J. Correa, so he is having that struggle on those medium tyres, unfortunately for the Portuguese driver. Neo just trying to capitalise that exit at the exit of the loop, and I think Rose might try and go for a move coming up through Brooklands. You can see DRS now wide open for the Alfa Romeo, but don't think he's going to be close enough to getting any sort of move done, so he's going to have to do it down the Hangar Straight. So Neo maintains that lead of the race so far, but he needs a good exit out of Cops and needs to try and perfect it through Magnus, Beckett's and Chapel if he wants any chance of being able to just keep up ahead of Rose. Although saying that, Rose makes a little bit of a mistake coming out of Luffield. KJ might now be trying to eye up a move on Rose, and I think Rose may need to start looking behind as opposed to trying to go for that move in front, because KJ is all over the back of the Nordic Heat Racing driver.
Yeah, I think, when you're in these trains, you think about, how am I going to overtake the car ahead so I can lead this train or gain that position? But then you got to remember, there's, 18 other cars behind you that want to, that's Toxic off at the back.
Oh, that's a very strange
huge
position.
Crash.
Yeah, that is a very bad crash. I don't know how he's done that, but up in the lead of the race, Rose managed to get that move done on Neo. So Neo now going to be sitting in that P2 position, very close to the back of Rose coming through the Vale chicane as well. It's TDB and Scott Buckner both going at it through the Vale chicane as well. TDB going to have the outside of that as well and gets that move done on Scott. So TDB from the back of the grid now up into 10th position. Very good start from the Vapor driver, to say the least. And as I said, Neo, he's just going to try and go for something, I think, towards Luffield, but I don't think he's going to be able to get anything done at the moment. He might just be a little bit too far away at the exit of this corner. So yeah, I think at the moment he's just going to have to maintain there and sit in 2nd position. Coming down the Hangar Straight though, I feel like Rose could be in a bit of trouble with Scott picking up a 3-second time penalty, and I've also realised Ron Zeus or Humble Zeus, has picked himself up a 3-second time penalty down 11th. In fact, just getting past Scott. Well, they're saying that I think Scott just completely forcing him off track at the exit of Brooklands, and just has to, give that position back as such. So Scott now down into 11th, and I think he's actually given that position back to, what was going on there. I don't know what happened to Scott. I don't know if he was given a position back, but a bit of contact between him and Ronzus, and I don't know what's going on there, to be honest with you. A bit of contact going on between the pair of them. It was very interesting, if I've got to say so myself. But yeah, Humble Zeus just, well, I think he might have got himself some sort of wing damage, because there's no way he would have been able to do that properly, as he went completely off track. Harley going off track at the exit of Cops and out of the race. We've already had 2 DNFers, the most so far in this session, or so far in this stream. And yeah, you can really see Humbles is just struggling with that front wing, so he's making his way into the pits, going to change off from those soft tyres. Humbles is picking up a 5-second penalty for his troubles as well. I think we might be seeing a steering support after that one as well. So a little bit further up in front, no, Suzuki can go for that move on KJ down into turn 3. KJ gets forced off track. KJ though will maintain that position up ahead of Suzuki, going in the back of the Alpine, but Kuhn will have that DRS, and a little bit of wheel banging between the pair of them. I say that, it's more front wing banging on the back left tyre of KJ. Kuhn trying to go for that move in towards Brooklands, but I think just has to back out of that one for now. Neo still not being able to find a way past Rosé. Don't know if he's just buying his time or what, but he's just not being able to get any sort of move done as Harley does leave the session. A few more guys making their way into the pits and coming out of the pits, shall I say. TDB up into 14th, and I think it was just behind Joel now and Spag. So Spag making that very early pit stop very early on in the race. I don't know if that was a choice of his or not. If it was a choice of his, it could have been a very good choice, going for that massive undercut just to go on a set of softs and then go on a set of mediums at the end of the race. Practically is doing the normal one-stop strategy.
Hey, and that's something I know. Oh my god. But yeah, he could probably take this to, I mean, he could probably go maybe 2 or 3 laps longer than the regular one-stop strategy, and that might, put him in a pretty good position to be up at the front, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and that's not how you want to come back on track. KJ and Kuhn were both going at it. Kuhn resets the track, so he's going to be getting a 5-point reduction as well, but Kuhn's just sort of pushing KJ off at the exit of Stowe. KJ coming back on, almost shoving Kuhn into the pit lane. Kuhn then comes back on track, and comes back on track almost in the path of Car Mentalist, and Car Mentalist ends up spinning him in the end as well. Not really a fault of Car Mentalist at all, more of course on Shizuku. I think that was all more from Shizuku in the end anyway. So again, don't know if he's going to put any serious reports in for that, but that was not clean driving, and let's just try and make this a little bit cleaner, please, guys, because I said we've got a long night up ahead of us if this is how it's going to end up going. So at the moment, Neo's still holding off about 7/10 of a second now behind Rosé. Rosé starting to get away from the XL driver. KJ though still can't seem to find his way up towards Neo at the moment, or saying that I suppose because of the last lap of contact between himself and Kuhn is a bit interesting. But yeah, him commented this, managing to get himself up within this DRS chain, as well as Kryptonite as well, and Nick in 6th position, doing a pretty good job just keeping Waffles at bay. Waffles of course with that 3-second time penalty as well. Yeah, I think things are going to. I think the guys in the chat are right. I think the driving standards are starting to drop ever so slightly, but hopefully it doesn't drop to the point where where they could end up kicking people out of the event. A bit further down though, Ivan Mike. Actually, I didn't realise, emerged up in front of Joel, and he's on those medium tyres, and in fact he's managed to keep that 11th position, up ahead of Joel. So Mike, a bit more actually in the driving seat than what I expected, if I'm honest with you. Joel though, I think he's going to try and go for the move coming up in towards Stowe. However, Mike probably going to be using a bit more of his ERS to try and maintain that position, but I don't think there's much he's going to be able to do. Just has to back out of that one. I was saying that, trying to hold it around the outside of the IFR driver, and I think either Mike was keeping it that outside, but just had to back out of that one, and could be under pressure now from Spag down in 13th position. Remember though, Spag has got himself a penalty. Going down the inside though, coming through the final corner, a little bit of a shove off from Spag on to Ivan Mike, and now TDB is going to go down the inside in towards turn 1. A bit of contact between the pair of them. I don't know what that was from TDB then. I thought he just didn't want to turn at all, and now Mike down in the 13th position. He's lost 2 positions in the space of 1 lap, and could be losing out another one. Scott Bugner and Kuhn are both battling it out behind him. Kuhn trying to go down the inside of Scott, again forcing him out, coming through turn 4. And Kuhn gets that move done in the end, but I don't think Scott's going to be too happy with that one. Might see a move go down in towards Brooklyn, so let's have a look. In towards Brooklyn now. Scott does go for that move, keeps the inside as much as he can. Bit of wheel banger between the pair of them. There's absolute dive bombs that are going on, and this is not good racing between these guys, and this is just I don't know how this is going, and now they've just taken each other out. Fantastic. Oh, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, but
I don't know either.
yeah, I genuinely don't understand that. But yeah, JSAC in Ecos is the one that's in the lead of the race. Jay Correa in second. Commander, Kryptonite and KJ all made their way into the pits. They're just coming out of the pits now. And where is Rose and Neo in comparison? Rose's just coming through turn one now. I don't think Carmentalist is going to be able to get the jump on them. But interestingly enough, Carmentalist is actually, he managed to jump up ahead of KJ in those pit stages. So Carmentalist is now into a net third position. Again, you've got to remember that these guys will need to do another stop as well. But yeah, I think at the moment Rose is the one that's controlling this race. Neo in second, Carmelo is getting himself up into that third position, very nicely done. Kryptonite in fourth, and KJ, I think he must have had some wing damage when with that little bang that he had with Kuhn coming through Stowe, as Joel trying to go down the inside of the Alpine, coming through Brooklands, and then trying to go around the outside through Luffield. Don't think he's going to be able to get any sort of move done. Joel just has to sit behind the Alpine for now, but this has brought the entire train of Nick, Waffles, TDB, Spag, and Mike all up to the back of KJ, so KJ now going to be leading this massive train. Could be under a little bit of threat here, Brock.
Yeah, I think now that the pit stops are almost over, the trains that we're going to see probably towards the end of the race are starting to form here. I think that train from Reese all the way to Krypton, so 3rd to 6th, and then from 7th to 13th, those are going to be our trains. As Joel to the inside of Stowe, can he hold it there? He's still there. A little bit of a bump as they run down to the Vale chicane. He's still there. He's trying to peek his nose in. Switches back right for Club. And KJ just defends that corner beautifully. And we probably won't see another chance at this until they get to the Brooklands Luffield section at the beginning of Sector 2. But Joel he didn't have the speed or the grip out of Club. So he's fallen back just a little bit. Let's see if he can get some better traction through the village and this little infield section here at Silverstone.
And TDB going down the inside of Waffles, coming through turn 4, both still side by side. Waffles and TDB still both side by side. DRS enabled for the both of them. TDB just sort of backs off and it just takes to the slipstream of the Haas driver. This is how you race, guys. Please take notes, because TDB is playing it patient as much as he can. Waffles as well gives him the space. That's what you do. That is called racing. That is car racing. So please learn that, because Waffles is now closing out to the back of Nick, and we could see a move coming through the hangar straight as well. So keep on board with Waffles now coming through Maggots and Beckett's, and yeah, as I said, it's just whoever gets the better exit out of that. Waffles turning, I think, a little bit too early coming through Maggots and Beckett's, but yeah, I mean, still it's just sitting on the back of Nick at the moment. TDB not close enough to get any sort of move done on the Hatch driver at the moment. So Waffles just gonna have is just gonna be able to keep that place up ahead of the Vapor driver. Although it goes very wide coming out of Stowe, so it must have gotten himself a warning for that one. But further up the field, Carmental is starting to close up to the back of Neo, so Neo could be very well under pressure from Carmentis. And saying that as well, Joel still all over the back of KJ and still not being able to get any sort of move done. That massive train, you can just see the amount of blue and white dots just coming up through turn 1. Yeah, it just looks amazing to me. Commentalist though still all over the back of Neo. Neo will still have that DRS off of Rose, so that's why Commentalist wouldn't have gotten any sort of move done yet. However, they have both built that ERS immensely, and you can see Neo just utilising it a little bit just so he can keep within the DRS range of Rose. There's been a spinner at the back. That is, of course, our resident spinner of Ivor Bryn, Mike. He was running a pretty good race so far, and unfortunately for him, he has had that spin at the exit of, I think was that the exit of turn 3, or was that at the entry of turn 4? It might have been the entry of turn 4. Yeah. So yeah, very unfortunate for the resident worksman, but yeah, down in 13th position. He'll still be getting points anyway. Everyone that does finish does get points, but yeah, he's down in 13th position now, 12 seconds off the back of that train that he was just in.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Mike. He ended his LOE career with a spin, and 10 laps into this race, he has a little spin, so he's known for that, I will say, as Jay Correa pulls into the pits for the AlphaTauris. And no one else is going to follow him, so JSAC's going to stay out here. he might take these mediums just one more lap, which is going to be very interesting to see where he comes out with Correa. I think they were only separated by maybe 7 or 8 seconds. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Correa can get a little bit of an undercut and maybe make up some time on the Ferrari of JSAC.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. JSAC just managing, well, still the only one that hasn't made that first pit stop as of yet. Remember, in this event, it is you got to make 2 stops to be able to, to be able to be qualified, shall I say, or classified. That's the word I was looking for. At the moment, though, JSAC, I said, the only one that's not made a pit stop as of yet. Rosé is technically in our net race lead. Neo in second, Commentless in third, and still trying to chase down that P2 position. Anyone in this top 5 gets themselves a penalty, well, top 4 shall I say, then it could be very interesting with how this is going to go down as well. But yeah, at the moment Neo just still keeping on that DRS, and I think this is really going to annoy Carmentis. I was saying that he's a lot closer this time to what he was in comparison previously, but you can see just how close Neo is catching up to the back of Rosé. So yeah, I think Neo could be trying to put a little bit more pressure on the Nordic E-Racing driver, but Rosé doing a very good job at the moment, just maintaining the lead of this race. Carmentis, though, I think is going to try and make this one a little bit more of a spicier race for us.
Yeah, let's hope they can keep it clean. Carmentis is known for his clean racing. He races in Division 3 in LOE, I think? I don't know.
2.
Oh, it is 2. Oh, he's better than I thought. Anyway. But these guys, they have so much ERS to play with. They're all above, I think, 65%, and they're just not using it, and they're saving it for the end. Carmentis might have a look here into Luffield Brooklands, but he backs out of it, maybe not. He's going to try to stick right behind Neo. And he doesn't take a different line to that corner. You can either V that corner or you can U that corner and try to get a better exit than the guy up ahead. But looks like these guys here up at the front, they're just going to kind of follow each other and wait until those last laps to make those moves to try and, you know, maybe win this race, or at this point just take another podium spot.
Yeah, no, that comment, they said like he actually got a lot better of a run through Maggots and Beckett's, but coming through Chapel, just got understeer, I think, from that dirty hit from the back of Neo's car, so it compromised his run coming out of that corner. He looked like he almost took that flawlessly to try and set up that move on the German, but yeah, I said, just got a lot of dirty air coming through there, so was unable to line up any sort of move going through that. So Neo still managing to keep that P3 at the moment, still just chasing down Rosé for that P2 position. Commentless, I think, might have just gotten a warning coming through there. It looked like he went a little bit wide at the exit off the final corner. Joel in 6th position, setting the fastest lap of the race. Now only just reached halfway through this absolute chaos. That is round number 12 of 22, and at the moment Rosé now goes back into the lead of the race as JSAT made his way into the pits. Scott Bugner at the exit of Luffield having a bit of a spin once again on those hard tyres, 46 seconds now behind Iceman, as Neo still cannot get to the back of Rosé at the moment, still just riding on board with Carmentis, just watching him through this lap, just keeping an eye on this battle for these top 4, as Kryptonite's starting to join in on the fun now. He's only 0.4 of a second behind Carmentis, so we could be seeing this 4-way fight going on in towards, coming up towards the closing stages of the laps. It's whoever's going to take that first gamble on that pit stop, and when they're going to do it, I assume probably lap number 16 or 15, we may see some pit stops coming down to try and go for an undercut on the rest of those guys. But Carmentis got a much better exit this time out of Chapel, and we could be seeing a move going down, not only from him but from Neo. You can see Neo just closing up to the back of Rosé. Rosé going to try and go defensive on the inside in towards Stone. Neo's going to have the outside line. Rosé, though, I don't think is going to just give him any sort of room with that, no wriggle room whatsoever, and now Carmentis might even try and capitalise on that. He doesn't. He does just stay behind for now. Kryptonite just keep it. They're all running in formation at the moment. Kryptonite just keeping that 4th position. You can see how close all 4 of these guys are. They're within a second. This entire top 4 are literally just within a second of each other. So it's so close between all of these guys. I don't think we can take our eyes off of this. I think this is literally one of the only battles going on. I know Brandon Glover's just gotten past Iceman, but Joel and Spag both into the pits for their second stop, so the first 2 to come in for their second lot of stops. And yeah, they're going to try and go to the end on those soft tyres. So I wonder when the rest of the guys are going to be making their way in.
Yeah, let's hope they can keep this battle going up at the front, how clean it's been, and just overall how great it's been for these 4 guys up at the front. A little bit of a train as well behind them with ERT, Nick, Waffles, and TDB, but obviously it's 1 car less and a few positions below. I'm interested to see if Neo can make a better run through Chapel. I mean, he went to the outside, and that was the line that Reese gave him. Let's see if Neo can force his way to the inside through Stowe. He's got a little bit of a run, but he's just not there like he was last lap. So Neo's just going to have to sit and tuck him. Oh, his Carmentos dives into the pits. It's an early stop for the McLaren.
Yeah, no, he's definitely going to be chucking on a fresh set of soft tyres to go to the end. Those softs can definitely go to the end of the race, so he's going for an undercut on all of these guys. The only problem for him, though, is that Neo and Rose have all got, Neo and Kryptonite all have DRS, and speaking of that, Neo in the top 4, I said if anyone picked up a penalty, then it could mess up their race. Well, Neo picking a 3-second time penalty up, so he, I think at the moment, the best he's going to get now is 4th position, unless someone within this top 4, including Carmentalist, makes some sort of mistake. Carmentalist, though, where is he going to emerge out coming out of the pits? He really has to hope he doesn't get stuck behind Brandon Glover and Iceman, because if he does, then he could be in a world of trouble as they're coming out of the pits now. Commentalist is side by side with Brandon Glover going through turn 3. Commentalist is just going to have to try and stick it around the outside in towards turn 4. Almost a bit of contact with Speed Iceman, but he's now going to have the inside coming through turn 5, and I think he's going to be able to get the DRS on Brandon Glover, so I think he's just going to be able to get that move done in the end. It might not have cost him too much time, but I think that's time that he didn't need to, that he could have avoided. Unfortunately for him now, that's going to cost him ever so slightly more, because he was trying to sort of go, or trying to battle with all of that going on. He now needs to just put the power down and try and make as much as he can. Is Neo, Rose and Kryptonite all going to be coming in this lap? You've got to be assuming that they will be. In comes Rose, in comes Neo, and in comes Kryptonite. So all of them guys now make their way into the pits. I think Kryptonite went into the back of Neo, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this is now going to inherit TDB into the race lead. Although he comes in, Waffles also comes in, as Waffles gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It means that J-Sack will now go back into the lead of the race. However, he still has one more pit stop left to do.
Yeah, Kryptonite did pick up wing damage on the front wing, but you gotta maybe think about Neo's rear wing if he got any damage. And I mean, the worst thing that can happen to Carmentalist now, and getting held up and battling there with Iceman, is he'll come out behind Kryptonite, but that's not too bad because it's only 1 position loss. It's not like he's losing, 70 positions, and he's actually gonna come out ahead of Neo.
So Carmentalist up into a net 2nd position in the end, despite getting held up slightly by that battle with Iceman and Brandon. He manages to come out and emerge into that net 2nd position. So now he's going to be controlling when he can go for that move on Iceman. As a little bit further down behind KJ, unfortunately, I think at the exit of turn 5, going around, and then I thought there was a bit of contact with Brandon Glover, because I saw he was very close with him, so I don't know what had happened there. But yeah, KJ now down, and I don't know why, just decided he almost wanted to turn into Spag on the straight, and then just goes veering off into the right hand side of the track, so I'm not too sure what exactly had happened there. But yeah, KJ down into 15th position now, and yeah, as I said, I don't understand what just literally happened there, but Commentalist 5 attempts now behind Rose for this P4 position, or a net 1st position. JSAC back into the pits already, only done 2 laps on a set of the soft tyres, and already back into the pits to go for another soft stint for the Ecos driver.
Very interesting strategy from that Ecos team. However, if I do want to say something, I kind of wish I didn't turn off the safety car, because Mike's in 2nd right now. And if there was a safety car, he'd be in 2nd after it. So, yeah, that's all.
I don't think he'd be in 2nd after that, because a lot of the guys they're all over the back of him. You can see it literally. Rose 5 tenths behind Mike, and I think he's actually going to get overtaken right about now. Let's have a look though. Scott picking up a 3-second time penalty, straight down the inside goes Rosé. Mike, I don't think he's going to be able to fight that one, just sort of lets him go. And yeah, Mike now up into 3rd position. I don't know if that's someone that retired in the pits or someone just had a spin at turn 1, but yeah, Mike now also backing off for Carmentless and backing off for Neo, and I think also might try and back off for Kryptonite when it comes through Cops, so keep our eye out on that one. I think there's been a bit of a spinner. I think that's actually Nick for the ERT team having that spin, and yeah, look, he just lets Kryptonite go, doesn't want to get involved in that battle at all. That's not his race to fight, and he knows that. So Mike down in 6th position now, and yeah, we'll see how he goes when he makes that 2nd stop as well. But yeah, at the moment J Correa is the one that is leading this race. He's still got to make that final stop of his as well. Are we going to see the Portuguese driver in now? Yes, we will. So J Correa now into the pits. I'm assuming we may see Mike follow him, because I think that's who he's trying to battle and try and catch up with. JSAT picks up a 3-second time penalty. I thought that was Mike picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding, because literally it was at that same time. But yeah, Mike coming into the pits, trying to follow J Correa and trying to just catch up to the Portuguese driver as much as possible to try and get the jump on him. But yeah, Rosé getting that gap up from Carmentless now. I think Carmentless is starting to realise how much of a struggle it was trying to keep up with Rosé, because he looked very quick on that on that 2nd stint on those medium tyres, but now he's really struggling on these soft tyres. He's not gotten any DRS, and now it's going to be under threat from Neo. At the moment, Rosé is in this net lead of the race. Oh, I say net lead, he is in the lead of the race, and they don't need to make another stop, those guys. Only ones that need to now make a final stop, or in fact the only one, no, everyone has made their 2nd stop now, so yeah, everyone can now just of course race it to the flag. And at the moment there's a lot of battles now going on. Of course, this battle for P2 and Neo, Kryptonite and Carmentalist, as well as a little bit further down the field JSAC and KJ for that 11th position with that battle going down. In fact, I'm going to go on board with that, because they look like they're going side by side now, coming up towards, coming through Luffield. JSAC down the inside of Brooklands, and KJ will have the inside through Luffield, so just keeps that position from the Ecos driver. I don't think this battle is going to be over, to say the least. Neo getting a move done on Carmentalist, coming down through the hangar, straight and up towards Stowe. So Carmentalist now up in down into 3rd position, but don't think it's really going to matter too much, considering that Neo has gotten himself a 3-second time penalty, bro.
Yeah, it could have been even Carmentalist might have thought that Neo, you know, I mean, obviously he's faster than him, he passed him, you know, on track, but maybe Neo can now close the gap up to Rise and then pull Carmentalist and Kryptonite ahead. And then when Neo ultimately drops down to 4th with this penalty, maybe he'll even pull off to the side, like Carmentalist and Kryptonite have a chance there at Rise for the race win. So it could be strategic, it could have just been a mistake, or it could have just been the power of the DRS and the ERS. But yeah, Neo's out of Carmentalist. Kryptonite's still kind of just watching this battle. He's maybe just waiting if they're going to crash, or if they're going to run wide, pick up another penalty or a warning or something. He's sitting comfortable. He's got a lot of ERS to play with, so if he did want to attack and try to get a position out of this, he definitely could. But I think right now he's just playing the long game. There's only going to be 7 laps to go when they cross the line.
Yeah, no, he certainly is going to be trying to play that long game indeed. I was just looking at the ERS of each of these guys in this from 2nd down to 4th. Neo still had quite a lot to play with. Carmentalist had barely any to try and utilise with, so I think Carmentalist really was struggling on these soft tyres to try and catch up to Rosé. But now he's got that DRS on the back of Neo. I think he's just going to let Neo just drag him along and just try and pull him a bit closer to Rosé and try and get himself back within that DRS. Kryptonite, by the way, also with quite a significant amount of ERS to play with as well. But I think he's the one that's actually got the most out of the top 4, because Rosé now starting to run a little bit lower on that ERS bar as well. 7 more laps left to go. And as I said, the Nordic E-Racing driver, the one that is leading at the moment, Neo in 2nd, Carmentalist in 3rd, and Kryptonite in 4th. That's the battle for the lead of this race. Joel is in 5th, in a little bit of no man's land at the moment, 7.5 seconds behind those top 4, but 2 seconds out in front of TDB in 6th position. Ron Zeus, or Humble Zeus, picking himself up yet another 3-second time penalty. And yeah, as I said, a few battles going down the field. KJ picking up a 3-second time penalty, and in that battle with JSAC as well, coming through turn 3. The Ecos driver just still sitting behind the ship fingers the ship's fingers driver, and KJ, I don't think he's going to be able to maintain this position for long. I think JSEC, we might see a move go down in towards Brooklands, so let's ride on board with this one. Eco's driver, you can see DRS now wide open from KJ, just pushing him over towards the left hand side of the track. KJ, I don't know what is going on, everything's just sort of frozen, but KJ keeps that position from JSEC in the end, and as I said, manages to just keep that up ahead of the Ecos driver. So JSAC, unfortunately for him, could not get that move done. And I thought he was maybe trying to go for it in towards Cops. He could be going for it in towards Cops. He's looking to go down the inside, and KJ gives him the space. And luckily they didn't do a Hamilton Verstappen on that, but yeah, KJ does maintain that LP11 position. They are going at it tooth and nail between these guys, and that's allowed Ivan Mike to start to close up to the back of him. Did he pick himself up any DRS on this? I don't want to check on it because JSAC is going for the move on KJ. KJ, you can see that red flashing light on the back of his car. He's going to try and maintain the inside line throughout Stowe and almost pushing JSAC off the road, but JSAC keeps those two wheels on that right hand side, or his front right two wheels on the track, and JSAC just closes that door on KJ and gets that move done. The Ecos driver now up into 11th position, but KJ looked like he got a better run coming out of the final corner. JSAC's going to go defensive on the inside. This is such a good battle between the pair of them, very clean racing between them as well, and KJ does keep that position back once again, but JSAC, I don't think this battle is far from over, because Ira Mike has now joined in to the back of this battle, and you can see JSAC and KJ both with penalties. Ira Mike, not a penalty in sight for him, so he's going to be able to jump ahead of them. JSAC getting squeezed over as far left as he possibly can. It's looking like it's turning from very good driving between the pair of them to a little bit dirty driving, a bit aggressive driving between the pair of them, as JSAC picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. JSAC going around the outside of KJ, coming through Luffield. If he gets this move done, this would be an amazing move, and I think the Ecos driver might have gotten this done. KJ's going to try and maintain this inside through Cop's going to do what JSAC couldn't do on that last lap, and Mike might even try and follow with JSAC. I think he has to back off though, but they're still both side by side coming through Magnus and Beckett's. Surely not through here, boys. He almost hits the side of him, but JSAC gets that move done, and oh my goodness, that was so tight between the pair of them. Mike now eyeing up a move on KJ. I think KJ's going a little bit hot-headed. You can see that red flashing light on the back of his car. Mike trying to go for that move around the outside of KJ, but KJ closes that door on him and keeps that position up ahead of the Esports Wales driver. And I said this is an absolute cracking battle going on for P11. JSAC now might try and pull away as much as he can from KJ, because KJ needs to try and keep an eye behind him. Although saying that, again, much better exit out of that final corner in comparison to the Ecos driver. Is KJ maybe going to try and send it on the inside of him in towards turn 3? He's looking at it, he might try and go for it. He has gone for it. He's completely lunged it. And yeah, I think KJ's definitely gone hot-headed with that, because that was not a smart move for him to do. If JSAC had just sort of followed that line, then he could have been completely shattered. Luckily for him, he didn't, but now he's going to have that DRS to come in towards Brooklyn, so let's have a look and see how this is going to go. JSAC going to hold it around the outside, a little bit of contact between the pair of them. JSAC's going to have that right hand side of the track. KJ just going to have to, was going to try and take the V line like you were saying, coming through Luffield. They're both still side by side going through it. Carmental is dropping down now behind Kryptonite for that P3 position, and Neo dropping back 2.5 seconds now behind Rosé, so I don't know what's going on between a lot of them. KJ still trying to hold it down the inside of Cops, and JSAC manages to keep that position. Ivan Mike is just watching all of this going on. He wants to try and capitalise on it where he can, but when these two are just going at it constantly, he can't get any sort of move done, so Mike is just keeping his cool, but I think he might need to try and go for a move now. JSAC, no ERS to his name. KJ, no ERS either, goes down the inside. Ivan Mike, give yourself a pat on the back. He might have just gotten 2 done in one corner. KJ though trying to hold it around the outside, and in fact keeps that position in the end. Mike gets the move done, but JSAC now trying to go back down the inside in towards the Vale chicane. Ivan Mike gets the move done. KJ picks up another 3-second time penalty. What a battle this is going on between all of these guys. This is absolutely insane. It's 10-2 in the morning. I'm losing my voice, and this is going on for this battle for just for P11.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're having this battle, because I think it's probably the only thing that's right now. And Mike just capitalizing on this battle, and JSAC loses the position to Brandon as they caught up, as they were battling for the past 5 laps now. As Mike down the inside into Brooklands, Kenny hanging around the outside than KJ, so you'd think he'd be able to, but KJ just keeps getting the runs out of the corner. Mike now to the
Oh
outside.
no.
Three
The
wide,
free
here we
wide in
go.
the cops! No, surely not. KJ just holding the inside through cops. Mike actually going around the outside of cops. KJ's trying to hold it down the inside of Brooklyn through Baggets, and that's not what you want to do. KJ and Brandon now coming together. I think KJ should have just given that one up. He was still side by side with Mike, and I think Mike left in the appropriate room, but that's not what you want to do. Either bring Mike now up into 11th position. In fact, could be losing the position again because JSAC trying to go down the inside end towards Stowe. But I think the Esports Welsh drivers just managing to hold on to that position up ahead of JSAC in the end. What a battle that was for P11 with all four of those guys. It turned into a bit of a calamity at the end for both Brandon and KJ. But what battling that was in the end. TDB getting a moved on Waffles as well, coming through Brooklands. And wow. This is, I think Gareth has probably said this perfectly. That's graveyard shift racing, to say the least. So, yeah, I think a lot of drivers just getting a little bit tired and a bit annoyed. Obviously, that's not what we want to be seeing. Hence why we've given everyone 10 drivers to try and swap it out so we don't get bad racing like that. But, yeah, I suppose that's what you're going to get at this point. Commentalist eyeing up a move on Kryptonite. This battle for this P2 still going on. Neo now dropping out of 3 seconds behind Rosé. I think Rosé has got this one wrapped up in the end. Neo is looking like he could end up finishing in 4th with that penalty to his name, but 2nd on track. Commentalist having a little bit of an oversteer moment coming out of the final corner, and Kryptonite just not getting the exit that he particularly needs to keep up to the back of Neo. But yeah, I think things are starting to heat up a lot more now. On the second or on the penultimate lap of this race, TDB got overtaken once again by Waffles, and I think Waffles might try and go for a bit of a defensive masterclass on the Vapor driver, saying that TDB closing up to the back of him, coming up in towards turn number 3, but the Dutchman just has to sit behind him for now, and this is all allowing Nick and Spag to start catching up. Remember, these two up in front in 6th and 7th have got penalties to their name. Waffles, 17 seconds of penalties to his name. So I was about to say, I don't know if they're going to get overtaken, but I think Waffles is definitely going to get overtaken. TDB only has 3 seconds to his name, so I think with Waffles battling this much with TDB, I don't think TDB is going to be particularly happy at the end of this race, because he's battling with someone with 17 seconds of penalties, whereas Nick is starting to close up to the back of him. And if Nick does, then I don't think TDB is going to be a very happy guy at the end of that. But yeah, this was completely kicked off in this penultimate lap, and you can see Carmentalist just trying to weave, trying to find anywhere that he can go. Kryptonite was also weaving to try and see if he can get a moved on Neo. Neo is just holding up on these two now as much as possible. Carmentalist building up his ERS. Kryptonite building up on his ERS. Neo still has got a bit of ERS to defend with, but he's going to be under an immense amount of pressure from these two guys behind him now as they are chasing him down for this P2 position. Of course, he's waiting, I think Commentalist mainly is waiting for Kryptonite to make a mistake so he can pounce on that. Whether he will or not, though, because the Belgian, very experienced driver, I don't know if he will be able to. Brock, I'm so sorry that I have not let you say a word within this last few laps. This is just getting up, and this is heating up so much. TDB still trying to go for a move on Waffles. You can see KJ going a little bit AI, getting lapped as well, and I think Scott Bugner also getting the move done on KJ as well. But this battle for second place is all going on. In fact, I've just cut off from it. TDB and Waffles both still going at it. Waffles, I think, just now letting TDB go. TDB, of course, had that DRS and just ghosting through, as I said, KJ's AI coming through Luffield. But here we go, Carmentalist thought he was eyeing up a move going through Cops. At the moment, Rosé, I think he has, as I said, I think he has taken the win of this race. But look how close the McLaren gets to the back of Kryptonite coming through Maggots and Beckett's. This is where it's going to go down. This ERS is where it's all going to be plummeted. Neo just weaving from side to side to try and break the toe, but you can see Kryptonite closing up to the back of him. The Belgian versus the German. Going to try and go around the outside in towards Stowe. Is Neo going to be able to hold this one off from Kryptonite? Kryptonite's going to have the inside for the first part of the Belgian chicane. As Carmentalist picks up a 3-second time penalty at the exit of Stowe. So Carmentalist has bottled that podium in the end. Rosé takes the win. Kryptonite will take second, and Neo will take third in the end. Carmentalist in 4th, almost jumping up ahead of Neo. As I said, very unfortunate in that last lap. Joel will end up taking 5th. TDB in 6th. in the end. Waffles in 7th, but I believe is going to be plummeting down to about 10th position as Nick comes in 7th. Spag will end up finishing in 8th, and I believe we may see Jay Correa finish in 9th. Yeah, we certainly do. Waffles will end up finishing in 10th. J-Sack will end up finishing in P11 in the end. He did get the move done on Iverbrim and Mike, and I don't know what happened with Mike in the end after that, but dropped down behind Speed Iceman as well, but they've both got those penalties, so Mike should be jumping up ahead of him. Yep, he certainly does, back into P11. Speed Iceman into 12th, J-Sack into 13th, and Brandon Glover just making his way through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel now, but will end up taking 14th. Scott Buckner in 15th, KJ in 16th, and Ron Zeus in P17 as well. What a chaotic race that was, Brock.
I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't watch much of the, few races. I think the first race I watched was maybe Spain, and that was probably some of the best racing I've ever seen, like, ever. I mean, I'd put it up against, some of the stuff we had this year and, in IRL Formula One. I mean, that was insane, the 4-car battle we had there. I mean, they're fighting for 11th position of all things. I mean, they're not fighting for the win. They're fighting for, low points if it's a league race. But in this, everybody scores points. But I mean, they just kept putting on a show. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, they certainly do. So, yeah, I don't know how. I'm lost for words on what happened in that race. So, yeah, that was something that was very, I suppose, intense. I don't know if that would be the right word for it, but that was definitely something. So I don't think that was probably the best race that we've seen. As I said, it was definitely chaotic to say the least, but it was definitely an interesting race. It would definitely clean up towards the front with Rosé, Kryptonite, Neo, and Car Mentalist. Shizuku, no. You might have to, as much as I hate to say it, you might want to take another look at that race, because that was not particularly good, if I do say so myself. But yeah, Joel ends up finishing in 5th, TDP in 6th, Nick in 7th, Spag in 8th, Jay Correa in 9th, Waffles in 10th, Mike in 11th, Iceman in 12th, J-Sack 13th, Brandon Glover in 14th, Scott in 15th, KJ 16th, Humble in 17th, Kuhn in 18th, Harley in 19th, and Toxic Tomato in 20th. But yeah, that was definitely interesting, as I said, to say the least. And yeah, I don't know how that. Yeah, as I said, I really don't know what to make of that, to be honest with you, Brock. I'm assuming you're quite speechless because I haven't heard you say anything.
I mean, it's just a bit chaotic because of the safety car that shouldn't have happened. But I mean, this one we didn't have a safety car. We just had, the DRS trains and the battles that we get within those that just made it, all the best. And yeah, I mean, this may be a race that I honestly would just upload to YouTube as just like its own thing, if I'm being honest, because that was.
As I said, it was definitely a chaotic race, to say the least. As I said, I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it was definitely a race of attrition, is the only way that I can put it. But yeah, so I think that's you done. That's you done for the comms entirely for the 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, unless I'm called in, but
That's fine, no problem at all. Well, yeah, guys, we'll be back very shortly whilst we get the next lobby loaded up for race number 13 around Hungary. So yeah, we will be back with you guys very shortly. And again, enjoy the elevator music and try not to fall asleep to it. Fuck me.
oh, it's who's next?
Mark. Me and Mark.
Oh, all right.
So I filled in for Packer, but yeah, it is actually scheduled as me and Mark doing it.
No, my condolences.
Yeah, it's fine because then I'm racing.
Eh, I'll oh, the wet USA. Oh no. Oh.